Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Still Talking. I'm your host, Nathan Smith. Today with me, a very close friend of mine, been friends for 10 plus years, Joseph Grieve. Joey, say everybody.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
All right, tell everybody what you do.
I'm a father of a beautiful young girl, and I'm a manager at Ollie's Bargain Outlet, and that's pretty much it.
Avid UFC fan as well.
Avid UFC.
That's actually why he's here today. We're going to do a little bit of a UFC discussion. I kind of get into it a little bit, on the weekly podcast, but nobody really is Joey's the only other person I know that's a really huge UFC fan that, we don't even have a script. We're just going to get in here and legit just freestyle this and just talk because you're the only person I know that knows enough about UFC that we can have an open discussion and just discuss it.
I think the first fight I saw was Ken Shamrock with Tito Ortiz.
Oh, man. A lot of people don't even know that they fought.
Really?
Yeah, I was just watching a documentary the other day, and they were talking about that fight, about how it was one of, the stepping stone fights, and they were like, a lot of people don't even know that happened. Because it happened so long ago. But
Yeah, I definitely remember that one. And then, Chuck Liddell obviously took the UFC by storm.
Chuck Liddell was the man.
Whenever he came on the scene, I just
loved how he came out and he was kind of chubby. And they were just like, oh, he's kind of slow. And I'm like, yeah. And he just started knocking motherfuckers out.
Cold.
That's what he's known for. He's the ice man. He will ice you. Crazy. But I guess we'll get into some title fights. The first UFC, I don't remember the first match I ever saw because I know I saw UFC, but I never watched it. The first match that I ever sat down and watched that I was I saw was more than 3 seconds that it really made me have a vested interest in the sport was UFC 100. The first fight I saw was Michael Bisping versus, not the Korean Zombie, but like Chan Zung Soon. Maybe was his name. The guy from the South Korean guy. I can't remember his name. Anyway,
it might have been Chang.
Yeah, Chang Yang. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. It's like CHAI.
ZUNG or something like that.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. I think that was the first one, and then but the headliner for that fight the fight card was Brock Lesnar Frank Mir 1.
That was a great fight. Was that?
Or no, that was two. That was two. That was the second one where
Frank Mir tapped him.
Yeah, no.
That was the first one.
It was the first one was where, the first one was the one where Brock Lesnar won, and then he went on and was like, "I'm gonna go home and drink some Coors Light, not Bud Light." Yeah. He was like, "Cause Bud Light won't give me no fucking money." He said, "Now I might fuck my wife," and I was like, "This dude is fucking insane."
Yeah,
he's a crazy dude, man.
Yeah,
crazy guy.
Usman Covington, bro.
Usman Covington. I just want to watch the same reason that probably 50 million other people are going to watch. We want to see Colby Covington get starched. Yeah. I want to see Usman knocked out Tyron Woodley, correct? Right?
No, that was a decision.
It was a decision?
5 rounds.
Oh, I thought he knocked him out.
No, he worked him though. I mean, he wrestled him. Tyron Woodley is known for his wrestling.
No, I was thinking of another fight. He fought on what happens is I watch whole cards and not just one fight. So all the fights that happen on one card kind of bleed together.
Yeah.
He fought on the same card as as when Kevin Lee knocked out that kid that was 9-0, and they were like Johnny
Walker.
Gillespie. Yeah, Gregor Gillespie. He was the one that he caught with the thing. Yeah. And then I saw another one where Johnny Walker they were like, he's 10-0. He might be the one to knock out John Jones. Kevin Lee came in there, kicked him right in was it Kevin? Who was it?
That was
yeah, so Kevin Lee was Gregor Gillespie, and then it was the same card.
Corey Anderson.
Yeah, because he had just won the Ultimate Fighter with his gap, and he was like, I'm gonna fuck this dude was talking all that shit in Brazilian, and they were like, he might be the man to knock out John Jones in this is a stepstone fight. They were talking like he was gonna win.
Yeah.
And Corey was like, I'm gonna knock him the fuck out, dude. And he beat his ass.
Yeah, he did. He called that one too. He was calling out Dana White. He was like, because Dana was like, they didn't want to give him a main card because they're like, you're a wrestler, you don't really make that many views, and he was like, you're not really exciting to watch. And he was mad, bro. He was pissed, bro.
He was the only one on his
season. He was
season.
in the top 5. He was ranked number 3 or 4 in the world at the time. In the world, he was fucking good.
He had a fast come up from his fucking.
And they gave him this guy that technically is really a UFC up and comer. and they won't give him a main event. He was pissed, and he came out there, bro, mad, man.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Dana White in a sense of, like, as like I'm obviously running a podcast. I do stand up and shit like that, so I understand he wants content, and to him, content is dudes standing up and slugging it. He wants the Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin fight every fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That first Ultimate Fighter fight. That
Dude, there's a lot of great fighters out there right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, people are doubting Covington against, like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I hate him, dude. The Trump, the play, you know,
and that's the only reason he's been relevant. It's not because
the MAGA hat and the I'm gonna talk shit to everybody, and like, I mean, he's gotten to the point where he's losing friends now. Like him and Masvidal were really good friends at the time, and they started talking shit. And then Masvidal's a real guy, and he was like, you know, like, they pretty much now want to fight because Covington was trying to talk shit to him because they're in the same weight division is what they're not.
I don't feel like they're making moves to make that happen because I don't think Colby wants that dude because he said that he said that one thing. He called him a journeyman, and then he said that he wasn't on the same level and that they weren't friends. And then he never spoke about Masvidal again. And Masvidal was like, "I'll fuck that dude up."
Yeah.
And then he never says shit else. And they're not. No one has been like, "Let's make this fight." Like. It's the same reason that they were like, "What you want to fight McGregor?" He was like, "I will fuck that midget up." Like, they don't want to make that fight. I don't think it's gonna happen.
But I mean, you gotta realize that Covington set a UFC record of 307 strikes landed on Robbie fucking Lawler.
Okay, now that fight, I hate feeling like I chop fighters down and try to take things away from people. Try to take things away. Because I did the same thing with the Nate Diaz fight. It was, I don't know how to explain it. Look at that fight and tell me that was the same Robbie Lawler that we always see. And that, like the Nate Diaz fight, I was like, look at that fight and tell me that's the same Nate Diaz that fought Anthony Pettis. I'm like, that's not the same fighter. There was something totally different about it, and I don't know what it is.
So what do you think? You think Usman or Covington? What's your prediction?
I think Usman's going to be the most conditioned athlete he's ever went up against. Like, I don't think anyone's ever talked shit about Usman getting tired. I think he can go 5 rounds. I mean,
he went 5 rounds with Woodley and he demolished him.
I mean, you look at guys like Yoel Romero and Alistair Overeem and like Tyron Woodley, guys who are in peak physical shape, like Usman kind of isn't, almost in that category. You look at them and the same for Covington. Like, you look at those guys and you're like, stamina is not really going to be the issue.
No.
The issue is like,
well, they both have 1 loss.
Usman's strong as fuck, and I don't know if Colby's going to be able to hold on to him.
Yeah.
And it's the same reason that I was talking about Khabib Ferguson that I'll talk about later. I feel like for almost the same reason, like when it goes to grappling, they're going to be fighting fighters that are going to be able to get separation and throw some quick, tight punches. Like that. Right. That's my thing about, like, I want Khabib to win, but like my problem is, like, when he goes to the ground, is he going to be like, Ferguson's going to get separation and turn and throw some tight fucking calculate, because that's what he does, man. And my thing is, like, I think Khabib can win, but my thing is, same for Covington. You know what I mean? Are they going to be able to go to the ground, run their game, and then withstand the separation from a really strong fighter, and are they going to be able to withstand those really hard punches? Because both Usman and Ferguson throw punches, man. They swing for the fences, and Khabib. And that was what I was saying the other night. Is when I was talking. I've never really seen Khabib get touched up, man. I mean, have you ever?
Yeah, he got touched up by Poirier, and he got touched up by the only round he's ever lost to is McGregor, because McGregor was piecing him up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know that there's a couple, but I'm saying, like, in 29 fights. One time he lost one round.
Poirier last fight, bro.
Yeah.
Poirier caught him really good on the chin. He started stumbling backwards. He almost hit the mat.
When it comes to Dustin Poirier, that dude can bang. Look at anyone Dustin Poirier fights. He's punched everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's gonna knock everybody. I mean, not knock everybody out, but he's you know what I mean. He's a really good striker. He's a boxer. Yeah. So I just think that like yeah, there's one fight with Poirier that's everyone that fights Poirier. That's they're like, yo, Poirier had a chance. Goddammit, he was boxing his ass off. But I think that it's just, I don't know.
But interesting fact. Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman both only have 1 loss, right? And they're both wrestlers, right? They predominantly want to take you to the ground, get you tired, and beat you up. Punch you in the face, get you tired. So, with both having the same play styles, they both have one loss by Covington by a guillotine and Usman by a rear naked choke. So they've both been submitted once. And the wrestlers.
Covington's lost?
Yeah, he's lost one.
I thought he was 19-0.
No. But,
okay,
so,
that changes things. I thought he was undefeated.
So that if they're gonna wrestle, if they're gonna sit down and wrestle, I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
You're good.
It's not someone like
he tried to wrestle somebody who had a.
I don't think he's even in the top 10 right now, but
he wrestled somebody who had some jiu-jitsu going on.
Yeah.
And got on the ground.
So does Usman though. So you say that if they're both gonna wrestle, someone's probably going to come up with a submission. Yeah. And if we're going to say submission, I'm probably going to go...
I never really thought about that because Colby doesn't really go for submissions, man. He always... Well, I mean, he does, but I mean, like, his main objective is to push for the decision. He's going to wrestle you, take downs, and go for the decision.
So I think Usman's going to have good conditioning because, I mean, he did that with Tyron Woodley, who was the he was the champion at the time. Like, he was... the champion, and he was on the track to being one of the greatest welterweights of all time because he had won like 3 or 4 fights in a row, starting at Darren Till. He knocked out Robbie Lawler, and then Usman comes in and just fucks him up, dude. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Covington beat Maia and he beat Lawler, but I think the level of competition Usman's had has been a little better.
Anytime anyone beats Tyron Woodley, it blows me away because when I watch him, his hands are faster than I've never seen a fight. I mean, I could be wrong. I've literally never seen a fighter with my own eyes that throws faster punches. No. I mean, dude, his hands move so fast that they're just blurs, dude. His hands are like, they're just insane. And
so I would think Covington takes it easy first 2 rounds because he thinks that Usman doesn't have the energy. Yeah. Usman goes hard for it because Covington's talking shit.
That dipsy daisy sideways shuffle he does around the cage.
I think Usman either by submission or TKO in the second.
I want Usman to put him on his head and hop on top and fucking. I want to see Usman suplex his ass.
What do you take him? TKO then?
Oh man. I think it. I would call it a decision.
Decision? Usman?
Yeah, I'd call it a decision for Usman. Because the one thing that I noticed watching Colby's fights, a couple of them, is he's a really good aggressor. This is kind of the same way Khabib is. Like how Khabib's... That's what I was saying about Khabib is not a lot of people punch him because he's always pressing against you. The entire time that you're on the ground or in the guard or against the cage, he's putting his entire weight on you. He's got his knees bent. He's fucking low center of gravity, and he's trying to keep you off your balance, and he's got your leg. You know what I mean? So it's hard to get separation, but I'm saying I just don't know. I feel like Colby's really good at getting away too. I'm saying in the same way, Khabib pressures you, Colby's really good at getting away when it comes to someone trying to flip his guard or reverse him or something. He's really good at getting away too. So he's not just he's a really good wrestler all around. He's not just an aggressor.
I think either way we're in for a good fight.
Yeah. I want Usman to come out and just fucking knock him out in the first round.
Don't think it's gonna happen, but I want to too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fight of a little bit back and forth, but I think Usman just can't get too aggressive because I think if he gets too aggressive, Colby's. I mean, he doesn't really strike, but let's not count the man out. You know what I mean. If he comes in too aggressive, I think Colby could slip him with a fucking shot and put him down. Because at the end of the day, he's conditioned. I'm sure he can throw a punch. He's a UFC fighter. I'm positive he can throw a punch. Right. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's probably got videos on his Instagram.
So 2-0 for Usman.
Yeah, I think Usman. I'm hoping Usman.
I think everybody hopes Usman. What about Mr. Notorious? He's a...
McGregor. Who's he? Cerrone. Yeah, McGregor Cerrone. I was thinking of the one thing. We'll cover a fight that I didn't cover with anybody else. But the McGregor Cerrone fight. I stated before. I think it's a fight McGregor has to win. I don't think if he wins it's over. I don't think it's I think if he loses, he's not Showtime Conor McGregor. He's not the money fight anymore.
Bro,
He's not the money fight now, but he still has that perception. You know what I mean?
Because I love it that people think that, bro. Because
he's not shit.
Donald Cerrone, Cowboy, has the most. I think it's tied for the most fights in UFC history. Has the most knockdowns in UFC history. Is the most
for his
welterweight.
Division?
No, like in the UFC history, he has the most knockdowns in UFC history. He has the most wins in UFC history.
He has over 103 fights. Because Dan Severn holds the record with 103 UFC fights.
Professional.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about. He has 33 professional fights.
He's 103 professional fights with the UFC.
But
I don't think they're all. I don't think that they might UFC. It was back before UFC was the UFC. They changed
Zuffa.
Before they changed the name. Before that,
right.
Dan Severn was on UFC 1. It was before they changed the name to UFC, so like they counted his wins from his record from before. So like as far as the UFC, he probably doesn't. It's probably incorrect. He probably doesn't have the most UFC fights. But I saw something about where he had
not the most fight. He has the most UFC wins.
Oh, okay. Really? How many wins does he have?
23.
Damn.
I mean, it's right here. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Most finishes.
What's his record?
33 and I forgot 33 and something.
Damn.
Most finishes 16. Most post-fight award bonuses.
Damn.
Like he's tied for most bouts. Tied for most bouts in a year. He's had 6 fights in 1 year. Second most wins in lightweight history.
Oh my god, I remembered what I was talking
and
about.
And most knockdowns in UFC history. UFC history, bro.
When I was saying that, I don't really ever remember anything about Donald Cerrone other than like him getting knocked out a couple times. I remember the Ferguson fight where he got punched in the face and blew his nose, and his fucking eye was like.
He was perfectly fine in the corner, and then he saw him blow his nose, and it's like puffed up instantly.
Swole the fuck up. He was like, I don't know why the fuck I did it. He said I'm a veteran. I know not to do it. And
I still did it. Yeah. But man, he's people definitely think that he's not that great, but or something for some reason, man. This dude is bad.
And I think someone was talking.
It's honestly a good fight to make though, because him having the most performance bonuses in UFC history against and Conor McGregor, who makes the most money.
The money
this
fight
is going to be a big money fight because they're going to make a lot of money.
Dude. And that's the thing I like about Cerrone. Cerrone can bang, son.
Yeah,
and that's
not going to be a boring fight. It's a great fight. It's a great fight, honestly.
I talk shit because I'm a huge Diaz Brothers fan. I'm so biased to the Diaz. I fuck with the Diaz brothers, man. You know, I just love their attitude. But
I want Nick to come back so bad, man.
But
whenever he was Strikeforce champion, dude.
Dude, he was a bad motherfucker, dude. And just the way he calls people out, I love the Diaz boys. But anyway, I talk shit because I'm a Nate Diaz fan, but that was such a great fight because Cerrone was like, I will stand and throw fucking hands with you all day. He was like, because he got, like he said, he got in his head.
But that was whenever they were young too, though. Yeah, I think, and it was really whenever Cerrone was young and Diaz was just coming up, because Diaz was in the UFC since 2007, and that fight happened like 2000.
He won Ultimate Fighter in 2007, actually.
Yeah, that's when
he won that year.
And then Masvidal's been in there since 2006, so you just got to think about whenever. Covington called them journeymen. He wasn't that far off. Don't get me wrong, they're not journeymen, but I mean, you can kind of see that.
I was having this discussion with someone the other day, and I feel like he's using journeyman in an incorrect way. I feel like I know what you're saying, like when you say journeyman, because they don't have like elite records, but if you look at them, they're not.
They've defeated fighting elite people.
Yeah, they're not fighting bottom tier people. They're always trying to fight the best of the best. That's like Nate Diaz. They were talking about his record. He was like, I don't give a fuck. He said, I'm trying to fight the baddest fighter in the game. He was like, that's Masvidal, so I'm gonna fight Masvidal. You know what I mean?
It's crazy how good McGregor set up, because even if he wins this, everyone's like, okay, let him win 2 fights, get him the Khabib rematch.
Yeah,
which I think should not happen. I think he should at least.
He hasn't earned it.
No, he has to be ranked in the top at least 4 or 5 to beat Khabib. But
I was heated watching his interview.
Even if he loses, he still has the option of fighting Nate Diaz for a trilogy.
Yeah,
because I mean, they both lost, right? Let's say McGregor loses. Let's say Nate just lost. Well, they both are coming off losses. Let's just go ahead and make this trilogy and still make money and still get a fucking good fight.
McGregor's interview pissed me off because he was talking like he was just gonna have his run of the mill pick of the fights. I'm like, you haven't earned shit. I was like, you fucking no, you're in shit. I was like, man, and like I said, I don't want to knock him as a fighter because, like I said, I have my own opinions about McGregor. I just the same way about LeBron. I just think about I take into someone's total character. You know what I mean? And I'm just not a big fan of McGregor. And like I said, there's just a couple things that like if
whenever he called Khabib's wife a towelhead,
bro,
that lost me as a fan.
Just aside from him being a total piece of shit off like out of the octagon, as far as like in the octagon, he's beat some good people. Has he beat anybody good in their prime? Yeah, he beat Jose Aldo when he was like 43.
You can argue that he was
43 years old.
He went 10 years without a loss. Like, okay, it's been 10 years. You're going to lose.
He was 43 years old.
Yeah.
Like, 43 for anyone who's missing what I'm saying. He was 43 years old.
He did fight in their prime? Khabib. He fought Khabib in Khabib's prime.
And like I said, I'm not going to knock because I know he fights good fighters and I know he's a really good fighter, but I think he's overhyped. He built his own hype.
Right, yeah. Max Holloway was like
undefeated at the time. No, right?
he was just coming up, man. They were both young. I think it was. It might have been McGregor's first UFC fight. Yeah. Like they were both really young, man. Like they were both just coming in. And now look at Max Holloway. He went on a 13-fight win streak and is known as one of the greatest featherweights of all time. And McGregor is kind of.
You could argue. You could look. Max Holloway is arguably the greatest featherweight of all time.
Definitely.
I mean. You couldn't argue too many other people. You know what I mean? Off top, I can't even think of anybody.
13-fight win streak, man. 14-fight win streak.
The fight,
13 title defenses or something. It was something crazy like that.
The fight over Poirier, when you saw how he was in trouble and how he was outboxed and how he literally just relied on experience and man, he's just a fucking fighter, man. He's Hawaiian. Those guys are fucking warriors. I mean, the same way with BJ Penn. Those guys can just take a beating. He stood in there and he let Poirier beat his fucking ass and he threw them punches right back and he wasn't hitting as hard, but he was landing them too. So, okay. And that's how he won, man. He won off of points. And I mean, like I said, Poirier was cracking his ass, but Max was landing more punches. You know what I mean? He was tagging his ass, and he didn't win that a stoppage or was that a decision?
I don't remember how it ended. I forgot.
I almost want to say that he crumpled Poirier up and they stopped the fight, but I don't think that was it. I think it was the decision.
I think it was a decision, but I don't really remember. Yeah. But earlier, I think I said something about Covington having like 307 strikes landed. Yeah. It was 530 strikes thrown against. Christ. But Holloway has the record for the most strikes landed. That was 307.
I felt like a goddamn fool because I felt like there was like no sound. So I was like commentating for everybody that was here. And everybody was like, what the fuck's going on? And I was like, don't worry, guys. Robbie's finna start throwing punches and he's gonna start kicking his ass. And it was like third round, and Kylie was like, "He's not really fighting back, is he?" And I was like, "Nah, he's finna start fighting back." I was like, he was clearly reserving energy for these last couple rounds, and then he just never. And I was like, Robbie, throw punches. I was like, Robbie, just throw one. I was like, one punch, throw one punch. Like he was just going in a circle trying to make it out of the fight, and I was like, just throw one punch, throw one punch, and he was just.
Okay, so who do you think Masvidal takes next? He's got the BMF belt. I mean, he's riding that wave.
He's not going to defend it. He's not going to.
Oh no, that's his. He's already said that. He said that he'll fight Nate again, but it's not going to be for the belt.
Yeah.
He said that was a one-time thing.
He said this is not an official belt. This is mine. Damn, I haven't even thought about it. How would you feel about a Darren Till rematch? Because didn't he win it?
No, Darren Till switched weight classes.
Oh yeah, he went up and fought Gastelum.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! How did that?
And I've been watching so many. And he fucking won.
He beat Gastelum.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't remember that fight because it was recent. But then again, I've been watching 140 UFC fights since I watched that card.
Yeah. So. But yeah, man, I think what I really want to see, what aches in my bones, Woodley Masvidal.
That'd be a good fight.
Woodley Masvidal takes. I think whoever wins that fight goes and fights for the belt and takes the belt.
Oh yeah.
Whoever wins that fight is gonna win and gonna go challenge and fucking take the belt.
If that was the top of the tree, yeah, either one of those guys is gonna fuck Colby Covington up. Yeah.
I think Woodley had a bad day. I think he should still be champ. But I mean, it happened and he got his ass whooped. So.
It happened to Chuck Liddell, man. Everybody has their day. Yeah. He beat Tito's ass like 3 times, and then Tito beat him when they were like, he was old as shit. He was like old as hell. He was like in his 40s, and he got knocked out, and Tito was like, "Yeah, baby," I'm like, "You're 1-3 against Chuck Liddell."
So if you want to go back to the McGregor fight, I'll say
I think it's
TKO
2-1-2.
third round. Don't know who. Someone's getting knocked out in the third round, I think. I'm gonna go with Cowboy though, just because I don't like McGregor. It might be McGregor, but I'm just gonna go Cowboy because I don't like. I respect Cowboy more.
I don't know. I don't want to specify round because they're, like I said, they're both really conditioned. I just gonna go for Cerrone. I pull for Cerrone. I think it'll be either a knockout or a stoppage. I think it'll be.
I think. I mean, a Cowboy submission is likely too though, because he's really
they're
good on the
both
ground.
submission guys. Yeah.
And I mean,
And
Cowboy's
Connor's
not.
weak to his
Connor. He can defend a takedown. He can scramble. He can get to his feet. But on the ground, defending, transitioning, pulling guard and shit, he's really not known for that. McGregor. I mean, Cowboy can. Cowboys has 8 submissions or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
And that's just saying, Connor's kind of open to those submissions, man. I mean, look how Diaz got him. Diaz knocked him down, hopped on his back, and fucking put him in a rear naked choke.
Connor did that because he didn't want to get his fucking punch in the face anymore. So he stopped and he turned his back like, "Can you please stop punching me?"
One of my favorite moments in UFC history is watching Nate Diaz lock his arm around Connor, and Connor was like had his like chin tucked, and Nate punches the shit out of him, dude. I mean, he full extends his arm and punches him right in the side of the head, and his head snapped so far to the left, his chin popped out, and Nate had his neck, and he just boom locked it in, and it was game over. And I was like, that is
one of my favorite
greatest
things about
moment ever.
Nate is when he fucking slapped Connor in the face.
He gave him the
He Stockton slap. And Connor was like, looked at him like, "Bro, did you really just slap me in the face?"
"Did you fucking slap me?" He was, "What's up?" I loved Nate Diaz because when like Connor started talking shit and like he was like way better talking than Nate. Nate did everything he said. He was just like, "Stockton motherfucker,
Yeah.
Stockton motherfucker, Stockton motherfucker." And he started talking shit about Stockton, and he was like, "Why don't you come over here?" He was like, "Why don't you come to Stockton?"
Best moment in a fight was whenever Khabib was standing over him saying, "You still want the talk?"
Oh yeah,
Huh?
he
You
was like,
still
"Let's talk
want
now.
the talk?"
Let's talk now." He was fighting. Who did he beat? That was really buff dude. He was really good. Can't remember who he beat, but he was beating dudes ass, and he was against the cage, and he was like, "Just give up." He was like, "It's my title. I earned this." He was like punching dude in the face. He was like, "Just give up. You know He said, "You know I'm supposed to fight for the title." He said, "It is my destiny." He's like punching this dude in the face, and he's like, "Give up." He said, "Just give up. Just do it. Just give up. It is my fight." It was so funny. Dude,
He's
just
scary. No, Khabib is scary, bro.
I'm telling you. We
The
talked
way
about it
that
on
he
another
can
podcast.
get people and just bring you to the ground and do whatever he wants with you. You know what he's gonna do, and he still does it anyway. Because everybody that has ever fought Khabib knows exactly what he's gonna do, and they still can't. They still can't stop
him. That's like I was talking about on the other podcast. I feel like I'm fixing to sneeze. Anyway, ooh. I don't know. I used to not really be too sure about Khabib, but I think here more recently, I think I got like a better idea. He's just a fucking warrior, man. Like when they were talking about, they used to be like, "Oh, he fought a bear." Like I was like, "Oh, it was hilarious." And then like I was doing like some research on all these fighters and stuff, and like Khabib fought a fucking bear. I didn't know that. That's a real thing. There's a real video of him.
Video of it, yeah.
Wrestling a bear. I was blown the fuck away. I just didn't know what. Couldn't handle it. I was like, "What the fuck? He wrestled a bear?" And he was like young.
Yeah.
Young as hell.
He was like a teenager or something.
And his dad
Maybe
was
young
like,
20s.
"Yes, Khabib, do it. Wrestle the bear. Grab his
A lot
leg."
of people don't know about Khabib. He still lives with his dad.
Yeah, him and like all 17 of
wife.
his fucking brothers.
Yeah, and his
They
wife,
all
too.
live in one huge fucking house.
Like he's
got
born
millions.
and raised on respect and family.
It's
and
the
honor,
same.
you know what I'm saying? So like he's like, people say like how fame gets to your head.
Yeah.
Not Khabib,
He doesn't
he
let that.
did not let that get to his head. He took it with humble, and he just has that money, all that money he's ever made.
His
it's
dad's his
stashed
trainer.
somewhere.
Yeah, his dad's
You
his
know.
trainer, and he trains with his brothers, and like they're just like I said, they have their own. They're based out of Dagestan.
Yeah, Dagestan.
Russia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
I think Zabit Magachapirov.
yeah, that's his training partner.
Yeah.
That kid That kid, when I saw, I was like, what a crazy name. And then I watched him, and I was like, yo.
Yeah, Zabit is crazy, bro.
Tell me he does not look like Lil Dicky out there with a long arm reach, knocking people the fuck out.
No, he kind of does.
He
The little curly hair,
dude. I swear to God. And I was like, he didn't talk, and I realized because he couldn't speak English, and I was like, oh man, I didn't really know how I was gonna go. That dude got to work, son. He got to work.
Oh yeah,
I was blown away. Those guys are just warriors, man. And I think it all kind of has to do with like I know we've had.
They live on war territory, bro.
Yeah,
they can get like people.
They live in a war zone.
Yeah, like they can get shot up at any time. So they train the village to come up and be soldiers. Yeah. So he was brought up, and he was trained to be a soldier to fight for his country's life. And he took that the wrestling and the sambo that he was learned, and he just rolled with it and just wanted to become up so good that he found another role than being a soldier. Yeah. Like his story is amazing, dude. Like.
Khabib is one of those guys. Like I feel like it's a really big. Like I know we've had discussions before. I feel like he has really strong ties, like the same way like Hispanic people do. You know what I mean? Like how like in the Hispanic like household, like family's really important. It should be the most important thing. And I know here in America it's kind of not.
Any family should.
It should. Yeah, I agree. I just like I said, I know in America it's not as marginalized. Like if we don't.
Right.
I can tell the difference between. Like your family's authentic Hispanic, and like I can tell when like you guys have like family get-togethers, I can tell the difference between mine and yours. Like I can tell that you guys value family way, and I know that my family values each other, and I know that we all love each other. But it's like a culture thing, you know what I mean? It's like you guys take the family and hospitality to a whole nother level, and it's really hard to explain if you haven't been in this. Like I said, I didn't want my family's listening. I don't want them to be offended, but like it's a hard thing to describe if you haven't been around it. You know what I mean? It was just different because your mom and dad were always like inviting me to everything, so it was I was just kind of always there, and it's a family atmosphere. Yeah, I guess the whole atmosphere is like love and family. So, and I feel like that helped.
You take what like that what you just described, and you times it by 10, and that's what they are.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you put that in the middle of a fucking war zone. You know what I mean?
Because I guarantee you the only money that Khabib has spent is probably for like he probably pays all the bills and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he has all the millions of dollars he's ever made. He has that stashed somewhere in a fucking bank account for one rainy day. And like it's crazy. Like
they have like a giant compound with all that money, that they all live in. You know what I mean? It's just like a huge. I think. The way it looked when I saw like a panoramic little like show of it, they didn't like go inside it. It looks like they had a house and then they just kept building onto it.
You can't question a person's character. After,
never,
you know what I'm saying? Like
it's, and that's the thing is like if you just talk to him, and that was the whole thing that was the thing that blew me away is I have so much respect for how he handled his shit. And he was like. When all this shit happened for Conor, he was like,
I thought he was gonna lose it, bro.
I did too. He was so well composed, and he was like, "Look, man, I'm just gonna talk when we get in the ring."
Conor was off the wall, man. He was saying some crazy stuff, dude.
It like honestly, like there's a couple people that like like when you can see someone's like see it in their eyes, kind of deal. And, like when you get older, like you can kind of understand that. Like the look in Khabib's eyes when they interviewed him right after that, he was like. He was like, why do it in front of the cameras? He said, you can send me a text message. He said, you can reach out to me on a private message. He
send
said,
me location.
He was
send
like,
me location.
Exactly. And he looked legitimately scary. He wasn't fucking around. He wasn't talking shit. He was like, send me a location, dude. I'll come. I won't bring anybody. I won't bring no camera crews, no police. He said, don't do it when everyone's here. I'll meet you wherever you want. He was like, just tell me where to be. And like that
he was serious.
I got goosebumps, bro. I was like, yo, the man, when he looked at it, his eyes were like black. He was like, just send me a location and I'll be there. And I was like, yo, this man doesn't care about the money, bro. He's like, I'll pull up and fight you right now. I was blown away. I was like, he doesn't give a shit about the millions. He's like, I will location.
He won't play in Las Vegas anymore because until Las Vegas apologizes.
Because he hopped I told you forget that fight.
That's savage, bro. You has to apologize. And literally the fight with Ferguson was supposed to be in Vegas, but he said no because they never apologized to him. So they moved the fucking venue. The UFC moved the fucking venue for Khabib just because he was so mad at Las Vegas.
When you never lose a fight and you have exemplary character and you kick people's ass after you tell them, like I said,
that's a part of his character that made him not legit, want to fight there.
Like from all accounts, all I can tell, he's the perfect guy. He's a nice guy. He's not any kind of aggressive. He's professional. You know what I mean? He conducts his business.
Imagine if all the money they invested in McGregor and all the propaganda and commercials.
Yeah, imagine if they put that in Khabib.
Yeah,
he would be
a huge
He's a
star.
superstar, man.
He would. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just like He's got 28 to 20. Is it 28 or 29?
28.
28. This is his 29th fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got 28 wins, and I'm like, man, he's never lost. And I know that it's kind of hard. Like, going undefeated doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
But whenever he took that step to the UFC, people don't understand how much of a he's like 13-0 or 12-0 right now in the UFC. Yeah. He's never lost a UFC fight, and he's a champion. A lot of people
can say that.
This is how he defended Poirier.
I mean, I don't think there's any elite fighter that's undefeated right now other than John Jones, and we all know about his performance-enhancing drug problems. Yeah. So you can't even really count some of those wins.
Bro, even during the fucking Anthony Smith fight, whenever he fought Anthony Smith, he kicked him in the face and kneed him in the head 2 times whenever he was down, which were illegal. And, like, poking people in the eyes, like...
And those oblique kicks that are, like, they're not illegal, but Hoist Gracie came on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about it, and he was like, look, those aren't illegal. He was like, but everybody who has ever practiced jiu-jitsu ever knows that as courtesy, that can fuck you up for life, so we don't do that. And he was like, he said, that's why it's a big deal, because no one else does it. He said, dirty fighters do it. He was like, because that can really hurt somebody. He said, like, that can fuck you up for life, man. He was like, so it's just as courtesy, we don't do that. We're all trying to go home to our families, you know? And that shit was just,
don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. But, like,
that's what I was saying.
You can question his character for sure.
That's what I was saying when I was going off on, like, I've become a really big Andrew Gustafsson fan recently. So that's why, like, I was trying to say the other night, I didn't want to sound like I'm going in on John Jones. Like, because, like I said, I could be wrong. And he could be in the same exact position with the same knockouts against the same fighters without the performance-enhancing drugs. But we don't know because we don't know that he was like, oh, I just started taking them. We don't know. He could have always been on them. You know what I mean? He could have just...
No, I think he's definitely always been on him because there was one time he failed right when he first started.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I thought it was just the 2 recently.
He got caught with the cocaine. He fucking got in a crash and hit a girl that was pregnant and fled the scene.
Dude, if he just stops fucking with cocaine, performance-enhancing drugs, and white women...
he failed in the drug test, and then he got suspended again. And then he came back and failed the drug test. And then the USADA came in and was like, it was the picograms. And they let him fight on steroids because the steroids were in the system.
It's fucked up.
So that they pretty much said that, yeah, there's steroids in your system.
Wasn't that the Vitor fight, though?
No.
That wasn't
this was versus Gustafsson the second time.
Was it Gustafsson?
Yeah, the second time.
Oh, yeah.
He never hit the picograms.
Yeah. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then, like, I was like, okay, picograms are not like, what if he took something recently and took something to flush his system so it would get out and you're just catching the remains? They don't know.
Yeah.
They just know that there was fucking shit in the system.
Yeah.
Don't let him fight. There's steroids in his system. I don't care how much it is because he could have taken that recently. You don't know that.
That's like, if you heard TJ Dillashaw.
Oh, yeah.
The reason he said that he took he said that because
he was taking EPO. If I'm mistaken or not, that was the same shit Lance Armstrong was taking.
Yeah. And he said that he took it because he had low a low red blood cell count, and that's supposed to increase it. And he was saying that he was overweight and he needed to drop weight and he needed to go to the gym and he didn't have the energy to get up and go. And Khabib actually commented on that, and he was like, "You don't fight." It was so funny. He was like, "You call doctor and you don't fight." He was like, he said, "If you don't feel good, you don't fight." Like he was like, he was just like, I just love it because he doesn't speak in English, so he gives exact answers. Like he just gives the like legit that he was like, you don't fight. He was like, if you don't feel like training, you don't fucking fight, dude. He was like, he was just like, next question. It was so funny because you could tell he was confused. He was like, okay, all right, next. He was like,
No, but that's crazy. No,
I think it's fucked
he was
up,
one
man.
of the first fighters that actually openly admitted to taking steroids. Like, yeah,
he admitted it to Ariel Huwani, which actually, if you guys look up our podcast and Apple Podcast, it pops up right next to Ariel Huwani's MMA Hour, which is fucking cool.
That's amazing.
Yes, because we got I got picked up by Apple under sports broadcasting, and since I sent them a personal message and was like, I told them I was going to be mainly doing like MMA and like football and basketball. That was pretty much going to be, I mean, we'll cover all sports, in season, but like right now we just talk football. We're always going to talk UFC because I love it, but we're talking football right now because it's football season. We'll talk basketball season when it gets toward the playoffs. You know what I mean? When baseball comes around, the pennant race, we'll
Well,
get
since
into
we're on the
that.
subject, what's up with the him versus the El Kukui?
Who?
El Kukui, the Eagle. Khabib versus Ferguson.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was his
The
nickname.
boogeyman, bro.
Yeah, I was like,
that's the fucking boogeyman.
he is the craziest motherfucker that.
He's the fucking boogeyman.
I love him, dude. His ears and his attitude and the way this dude does bear crawls down the stairs, like he fucking kills.
Dude,
me.
there was a story I read that this dude he I forgot his name, but he won a gold medal for running. I forgot for what it was or what it is, but you can find it on YouTube somewhere. But he was telling a story about how Tony Ferguson, I think it was with Eddie Bravo, they went to go to jog up a mountain, right? And the group that Eddie Bravo was with, they do this shit like once a month or whatever. And Ferguson was just along to train with them, and he said that they got lapped. By the time they even reached the top, he was already like halfway down the mountain.
Damn.
Like he almost they said his like strength and conditioning, like they were like huffing and heaving, and they do this all the time, and this dude was just going.
Man, it's
like,
and that's the thing that blows me away is how many fighters don't do endurance training. Like if I was a fighter, I feel like I would be trying to do every training session I did. I would do a 5-round fight. Like if you're training for a 5-round fight, you should be doing You should do 5 minutes, 5-minute rounds, and be throwing punches the whole time. You should be moving and
that's a
throwing
lot harder
punches
than
the
you
entire
think,
time.
man. I mean,
no, I know, but I'm just saying if you're conditioning, you should at least try. You know what I mean? To build your conditioning, you should be training for that.
Bro, if I go to the gym, if I feel like running, I'll run 2 miles in 15 minutes. And by the time I'm done with that, that's 3 rounds. And I was just running for a good, it's not a sprint, but it's not a jog. It's like a fast, you know what I'm saying? So I try to know with that, dude, I'm huffing and I'm heaving and I can hardly catch my breath.
Well, you know what?
So it's like
shadow boxing, like phantom boxing is.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were training for a fight, if I was training for a fight, I would if you're training for a 3-round fight, man. Every day I train, I would do 15 minutes in a cage, like shadow boxing, phantom boxing around. You know what I mean? Moving your feet, running through your strike combos and shit. You know what I mean? Just kind of running through your muscle memory. I mean, I think I don't know. I just feel like it blew me away when I was actually looking into it. And a lot of fighters don't really do like endurance training as much as I thought. I was like, I felt like it would be more prevalent. Like,
yeah,
people are like, "No, man, I'm just gonna get in there and knock his ass out first round."
Well, Tony Ferguson right now has the record he's tied for the longest record with Khabib. They're both tied right now for the longest active UFC win streak.
12,
13.
Because Ferguson had 12 consecutive title defenses.
You know what the all-time win streak is? I'm pretty sure it's 13. If it's not 13, it's 16. But I'm pretty sure it's 13.
Who holds it? Is it Anderson Silva?
GSP.
Oh, GSP.
I think he's tied with somebody else too.
I think it's Silva. Might be Silva.
Might be. No, I don't think it was Silva. It was GSP. Definitely GSP, somebody else. But so whoever wins, I'm pretty sure is going to break that record by 1.
Yeah. One fight I'm super fucking excited about. Adesanya. Oh God, who's he fighting? Totally just slipped my mind.
It's not approved yet, but confirmed. But Romero.
Oh yeah,
it's not confirmed yet.
Oh, is it not confirmed? I thought it was confirmed.
He wants to.
Oh man.
But it's I think Dana White's kidding because Joe Romero just lost 2 or 3 fights in a row.
Yeah.
He lost twice against Whitaker, and then he just lost against Costa.
That was what Adesanya
and then he wants to give him a title fight. So it's the fans want it, but the Dana White's just kind of why should I give this guy a fight? He's lost 3 fights in a row.
Yeah. That's what Adesanya was saying. He was talking on Twitter, and he was like, "Yo, you couldn't finish Robert Whitaker in 10 rounds in 2 decisions." He said, "I finished him in the second round." You know what I mean? It was like,
in all fairness, the second fight I thought he won, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Whitaker's a lot better than I expected because he's one of those guys that doesn't talk shit, but he's a lot better than I thought he was. Ugh.
Yeah, he's I don't know, Robert Whitaker's those last 2 fights with the Romero, man. I don't know. I don't feel like his mind was right.
Yeah. Same with Kevin Gastelum. Like when we went to the Hot with Darren Till, I was like, man, you could tell in his interview his head wasn't like it normally is. I thought he was gonna be a lot better. He's a power striker, man. He's a powerful little Mexican dude. I mean, he was throwing them damn things.
Bro, so Frankie Edgar
Oh yeah, I love
is
Frankie
hopping
Edgar.
in with the Korean Zombie.
Oh no way!
It's gonna happen the 14th.
Of January?
Yeah, I forgot who. Someone else was supposed to fight Korean. I think it was Marlon Moraes. I forgot. It was somebody. He was supposed to fight Zombie. He got injured.
Oh, Uriah Faber? Was it Uriah Faber? He was supposed to be coming back. I think it might have been him.
I don't remember.
I think Uriah Faber was supposed to be making a comeback because I don't know if he made a separation from TJ Dillashaw, but I know that he was supposed to be making a comeback and he was talking about Dillashaw cheating and shit. So, God, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. And it is not going to be
It
good.
still hasn't came out yet.
No. But
yeah, that's Frankie Edgar's come, and he dropped down to 145.
oh shit, what is that? Flyweight? No, that's not flyweight. That's
It's feather.
featherweight.
Yeah, it's feather.
Because bantamweight's like 130 or below.
Yeah, and I think that's the lowest one, right?
Yeah. Because men doesn't have a strawweight division. Or did they introduce one?
No.
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 Strawweight's
Just
just
35, yeah, 45. And then Cejudo's the champ of both.
Oh, yeah. Because that's who TJ Dillashaw tried to beat, and he fucking couldn't.
He got knocked out.
Yeah. he was like, I'm the true champ. He got knocked the fuck out.
Henry Cejudo can make a case for the greatest sports combat fighter of all time.
Yeah.
He's won an Olympic gold medal. He's won a wrestling gold medal. And like at college level, like what do you call that? Yeah, college national champion, Olympic national champion.
I think
and
he was
two-time UFC belt because he has 2 belts in the UFC.
I don't know if it was him, but there was another Cejudo, and I know that they had like 7 jiu-jitsu championships before they entered the UFC. It might be him. I think it might. I mean, I'm not sure, but I know the last name
He
was
could
Cejudo.
be known as the greatest.
Yeah,
of all time.
he's
just not really known for because his weight class that he's in is just not a popular weight class.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but
I mean, because for the longest time it was just like Demetrius Johnson and
that's about it.
who's the DJ Dodson or
Yeah, Dodson.
yeah, shit like people like that. Just a couple fighters
Yeah.
notable, but the only fighters that are really notable are the champions.
Yeah.
Oh well, Cody Garbrandt's not. He's not
He's-
flyweight. He's
Yeah, he is. He's a.
is he flyweight? Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's flyweight. And
That was
then
one of the reasons I thought it was fucked up about
He's not bantam,
Dillashaw.
he's fly.
Was
yeah.
he talked all that shit to Garbrandt, and I was like, man, he really whooped your
They
ass.
were
you know what I mean?
friends though. At the
Yeah,
time,
they
though.
were. They were.
Yeah. That was crazy.
One of the greatest Ultimate Fighter moments was when he was like, Dillashaw got all up in his face, and he was like, yo, get out of my face. And he was like, what are you going to do, Cody?
And they started
he,
fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He grabbed him by the throat. And like, dude, it was like literally his hand just appeared on his neck. And he was like, you could see his face. He was like, he was shocked, bro. He was shook by that shit, man. It was hilarious.
Okay, I'm gonna go off topic a little bit here. If you want keeping up with Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua,
Oh, yeah, the second fight's coming.
how do you think about that?
Dude, I loved it, man.
Andy, no, the second fight's coming up.
Yeah.
The first fight was amazing.
Yeah.
That was probably known as one of the greatest.
I thought you were asking me as a fat guy. I was like, I'm fucking hype as shit
No.
that Andy Ruiz got the fucking title.
No,
as
bro.
a fat, you know how many times I be walking around without my shirt off now?
Bro,
Like, I might knock you the fuck
starched him.
out.
And Anthony Joshua won the Olympic gold medal for boxing, and then Andy Ruiz came in there and like he got knocked down pretty hard though. Came back up, faced adversity, and knocked him out.
It was insane.
Yeah,
It was.
second fight though.
I didn't see it happen, but on the boxing subject, did you see where Deontay Wilder said he punches harder than Mike Tyson?
I think he does.
I think he might have got hit by Mike Tyson.
No, I don't think you've seen Deontay Wilder hit, bro. This dude, he doesn't. Okay, don't let me say that he has no skill, but okay, if you've seen him versus Tyson's Fury, who's Tyson Fury is very technical,
Huge.
very
Yeah.
precise in every calculated.
He's
you
a
know,
big, chunky white guy, right?
yeah.
He's not
yeah.
like a super fit guy, but he's
no,
like,
he's too. Yeah,
he's kind of pudgy.
Deontay Wilder
He's like
went in there
6'7".
and just slugged it while Fury kind of calculated it. And if Wilder didn't have all that power, he wouldn't be nothing. That's kind of like. Okay, I would say that he might have a better punch than Tyson, but Tyson was a better fighter.
Yeah.
Like if they were to fight each other, Tyson would probably win, just because he would go to the body. He would go.
Just the way he would work.
Yeah.
Like one of the greatest things was like he would work you in the corner, hit you in the body, and that uppercut, man. He just had the most. Yeah. I don't want to say the most.
Because if you look at like Sugar Shane and
Sugar Sean, you mean
Mosley?
Oh, Shane Mosley. Okay,
yeah.
I thought you were referring to
Sean O'Malley. Yeah,
Sean O'Malley.
No, if you look at Sugar Shane Mosley and who's that one dude? Evander Holyfield. They had pretty good power too.
Yeah.
But I think the way Mike Tyson just hit you right in the kidney and then punched you in the fucking chin, I think it was just a combination, bro. Like
it's just everything.
Yeah.
But I guess there's not really anything else going on in boxing, is there?
No. That's pretty much wrapped up. Huh?
Canelo beat that Russian dude recently.
Yeah.
Right,
Canelo Masvidal. Masvidal's trying to fighting Canelo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would have watched that shit, yo.
I'd watch that too. But I think Canelo's like 23-1. I think he might want to be careful.
Bro, McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather, who's 50 or 49 at the time. Yeah. People actually consider Masvidal actual fighters, like people that fight inside the UFC.
Yeah.
Consider Masvidal to be one of the best boxers in the UFC. Like his boxing game is insane, bro. Like he's been boxing since he was like fucking 12 years old.
Well, sorry, I just got kind of sidetracked a little bit.
Good. I don't think Canelo could take Masvidal though.
No. Well, I think if we're in a strictly like boxing match, like,
I don't know. I think it's the gloves. If you look at this, if you put boxing rules, everything, boxing ring, boxing rules, boxing everything, but you give them UFC gloves.
Yeah, I
think Masvidal would take it.
Oh,
you put the heavy ass boxing gloves on, Canelo will take it.
I would have put. Sorry, I'm still sidetracked. I would have put McGregor over Floyd Mayweather if they were in the UFC. I mean, if they had done an MMA match.
If you put Canelo in the ring, I mean, I would take.
Oh, you're talking about using UFC gloves in a boxing match?
Yeah, all boxing rules, but just give them UFC gloves.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought
because it takes skill, but I think Masvidal has a little more power, so he'll catch him.
When you said with MMA gloves, I was like, if he gets, I was like, he'll get fucked up.
MMA gloves are like 4 ounces. I think boxing gloves are like 12. It's like 3 times the fucking.
They're huge.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, I think we're done. We've been over for like an hour. So
if I want to just sum it up, I think I'll take Usman.
Oh yeah, Usman over Covington.
I think I'll take Volkanovski's a good fighter, but I think I'll take Holloway.
Holloway, okay. Obviously Max Holloway. I like I said earlier, he's possibly one of the pound for pound greatest fighters of all time.
And we didn't get a chance to talk about her, but I think she's a GOAT. I'll take Nunez.
Oh, Nunez, yeah. I saw that fight. She looks so much bigger than other girl. The one fight we didn't talk about, just real quick, John Jones Reyes. What do you feel about that? I feel like John Jones is obviously gonna win.
Reyes is undefeated, so I think it's a good fight, especially since John Jones has USADA up his ass. He has no more. He can't take any steroids.
Yeah, he won't be on.
Look at him versus Thiago. Was it Santos or Silva?
Yeah.
Santos. Yeah, if Thiago Santos blew out both MCLs and ACLs on both of his legs, so I mean, I think it'll be a good fight.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'll take Nunez, even though we didn't get to talk about her. And like I said, I think she's a GOAT. I think she is the GOAT female, maybe even GOAT fighter in the UFC of all time. And then,
like I said, we were watching her fight that one time at your house, and she knocked that bitch out, and we were like, oh my god, that was like knockout of the night too. Cyborg, yeah, that was the fight. And dude, that shit was insane.
Cerrone, I'll take Cerrone.
Yeah, I'll take Cerrone too. I think that was
she starts Cyborg though.
Yeah. That was a really good fight. Anyway, man, thanks for coming on, dude. You know, as always, you're one of my best friends. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any feedback or any comments, any questions, you can always reach out to me on Facebook. Just give me 1 second here. I'll give you guys a rundown of where you can get the podcast. As you can tell, you're already listening to it. But
Y'all don't remember to tune in to the UFC fights December 14th. 3 title fights.
Absolutely. I'm thinking about doing a fight comparison, like the Joe Rogan podcast. I think we'll probably like set up in my bedroom on the big screen, put the fight up, and bring the equipment in there and just set it up on our chairs, you know?
Sounds good.
Just fucking relax and do a little fight companion. But I'm not sure where you guys are listening from right now, but you guys can go check out the podcast. We're on Overcast, Pocket Cast, Castro, Castbox, and Podchaser. We're on Apple Podcast. We got picked up by Google. I'm actually just waiting on them to index. They informed me that they have 1.8 billion hours of audio input, so it's going to be a while. But you can also check out our website, Still Talking Podcast at buzzsprout.com. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like I said, if you guys need anything, just holler at me. Thank you very much. You can just cut it out. I'll redo